Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of Was That in Good Taste? I'm going to be one of your hosts, and my name is going to be Chandler Phillips. Joining me, as always, is another one of your hosts, and his name is going to be
Sir James Beery.
Oh, you added a sir. Have you been knighted?
Yes.
Delightful.
It's arbitrary, right? I've been knighted.
I mean, everything. Has someone knighted you?
I played Fallout.
Oh, boom! You're knighted.
There we go.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the show, to the channel, to the other pod, wherever podcasts are formed.
We're fancy podcast people.
Whenever a mommy podcast and a daddy podcast get together, they make love.
What do they create?
And they create this show. Was That in Good Taste?
Do you think there's only one mommy podcast and one daddy podcast
I don't know.
in the entire universe?
No, that's why it's a mommy podcast and a daddy podcast.
Can you have two mommy podcasts?
Yeah, you can. You can of course have two mommy podcasts.
But we can't have two daddy podcasts.
You can have two daddy podcasts.
Okay, I'm just checking.
It's just, sometimes things get a little sticky and you need an audio producer or an audio engineer.
So you're saying that two mommy podcasts can be with a daddy podcast? Got you. What are we talking about today, Chandler? What is the amazing... You know what? I'm taking this race serious. Don't waste my time.
Well, I can see you're a very serious person. And to cut to any bullshit.
Time is money. Time is money.
Today's episode is about fashion, and we're throwing fits. We're going to talk about all the things that inform our individual stylistic choices, as well as the fashion industry as a whole. But before we get into a thrilling conversation about where we draw our inspiration from and the things that we think might be maybe a bit elitist or just deserving of critique of both the fashion industry and the clothing production industry, because I feel like they're two halves of the same coin, but they are distinct halves.
Indeed, yes.
But again, before we get into that, I would like to introduce our cocktail of the evening, named after how I style my wardrobe. It's the Fancy Free, because I like them both fancy and free.
And free.
Here we have an elevated whiskey cocktail, as it's kind of humbly referred to by the creators of it. First known reference of the Fancy Free appears in Crosby's Gauge in a 1940s cocktail guide and ladies' companion.
Oh,
and it's,
the ladies.
Honestly, it's pretty true to the rendition that I found of it off of Difford's Guide. Pretty good place for finding cocktails. Just check them out if you have idea. They're pretty reputable, and they have these little fun little notes about them. Difford's Guide. We're not sponsored, but I appreciate you. So yeah, it's a Fancy Free, and this one, I give you the vision, and then I say run wild with it. But this one, I kind of took the reins on a little bit, because I felt like it feels like such an old-timey cocktail that I wanted to eyeball it. And I love the way my loosely measured, like yours is much more precisely measured than mine, but I think they both kind of came out and resonated in their own stylistic differences.
Reminds me of you.
Aw.
Tacky.
I thought you meant loose and goosey.
Aesthetically, it's okay.
I just
the
like
smell.
I like a fun glass.
Smells like alcohol. I only have alcohol in France. Since I'm here, I'll lower myself. I'll try your little cocktail.
But what about Milan? Thoughts, feelings, opinions? Wow, you really made a meal of that.
It was pleasant.
Pleasant.
I'd like to buy the rights of this cocktail off of you.
You want the entire cocktail rights?
Give it to me or I'll take your family.
Oh, this seems like a hostile takeover. Is this a merger or a marriage?
A little column A, a little column B. Ask my wife. Wow.
Now we're in business. Um,
Touch? I don't do that.
oh God, how gauche. This is a fun little cocktail put together. It is 2 ounces of bourbon whiskey. We chose to go with our house handle of Jim Beam. And then it says 5/12 fluid ounces of Luxardo Maraschino liqueur, which I don't know. We're using
So
Marasca, so like the translation of it. If it were Luxardo, we'd do 5/12. But since we're using a different maraschino liqueur, not a cherry liqueur, a maraschino cherry liqueur, I just eyeballed it and said about a half an ounce, maybe half a shot, maybe.
Marasca is uncultured. You're uncultured. Marasca is
Say that
the
to
original maraschino liqueur, with Luxardo being the most popular, well-known. So I feel like this is better.
Where's this one from?
Croatia? Is that what? Wait, is that what it was?
Yeah.
I remember it. It was Croatia.
So it's 2 ounces bourbon, half ounce maraschino liqueur. Whoa, this one says 3 dashes of Angostura bitters. Now I know I'm pretty heavy-handed with the bitters, but that seemed like a bit much. So I did 1 heavy dash of Ango bitters and then 2 dashes of orange bitters, again by Angostura. You did that one. I had the one by, what was it, Bittermans? Or
Hella Bitters.
Hella Bitters.
Out of Hell's Kitchen.
So I did 2 full dashes of Hella Bitters, orange bitters. And you did?
I did a better one.
You did a better bitters?
Yeah. I did 2 actual dashes. Nice, consistent. Even throw the wrist.
Now, how much would you be willing to bet that your bitters were betters?
I think my bitters were the best.
Your
Bitters better? Bitter betters beat the best.
You hear to hear, folks. He's a better bitters betting man. I kind of wish I would have gone with the Angostura orange bitters, because they definitely had a much more aromatic.
This has a much,
Well, also, okay. So you're coming at me like it's aesthetic. You grabbed the ice. You grabbed your fancy little cup, and then said, "I'm gonna put 1 shaved cube of ice in mine and have it look decadent." And I'm like, "Well, okay. I was using this cup.
I've got to be fashionable.
I was using this cup, and I'm gonna.
I don't care about
using
waste.
and then I'm gonna just have ice kind of just.
I don't care about waste. If I have to use 10 glasses to have 1 good cocktail, I will.
But the utility of the glass. See, this is a pretty glass that's both versatile and
I can buy another glass.
practical.
This glass was like $1. I could throw it away every time I use it.
Every time
I use this, I can just throw it over my shoulder and just get another one.
See, I will use this glass through laundry load after laundry load until it doesn't.
What if it goes out of style?
It'll never go out of style. Look at that sleek shaping. Like it might shrink. It might not fit what I need it to fit.
Me.
But I think this glass is a quality glass. It is. It came free with a bottle of in a gift set.
It definitely did
with Peat Monster. So not only is it a great glass at containing fluids and liquids and other substances that have difficulty holding a shape without a container, it also was free.
You care about the environment so much.
I don't care about the environment. I care about the least amount of expenditure on my person.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
We meet, huh?
That's
caring about the planet, huh? Oh, no.
I never said I was caring about the planet.
What I do is I kill every cow I see. This over my shoulder in the trash. You know what? I'm done with this cocktail. Garçon, get me another. I would never waste like that.
Wow.
I would never waste like that. I just want to be stylish. So we're talking fashion. Why are we talking fashion? You know what? We're not just talking fashion. We're talking fashion. We're talking fashion now. We're talking fashion fast.
Fast fashion.
Are you a fashionable guy, Chandler?
I like to think I have a sense of style that when I walk into a room, people go, huh, that was a choice.
I think that's because you dress like you dress like your clothes are a fork or a spoon. You dress like you put a shirt on because you wear a shirt, and you have pants, and you have to wear pants.
Well, legally, yes. Like like, logistically speaking, I'm not allowed to leave the house.
Says who?
Says the government.
I don't think that anybody watching would have any issue if you decided to run outside skyclad.
Some days I want to. Some days I don't want to have to go through the rigmarole of putting on clothes.
It would be really hard to tell jokes for trees with two birds peeking out the bush.
Two birds. Maybe a couple eggs in the nest. I think there are definitely days where I just don't want to have to put in the thought and effort that goes into constructing the identity that goes into having a sense of fashion.
That's interesting. So you've never been like a person who's had any part of your identity tied into the fashion you wear, or your, I guess what we would say, fashion experience.
No, I think I am very much involved in that and have to deal with that. And so in order to deprioritize that so much, or like, and almost kind of resentfully, I put as little thought, well, not as little thought, I still put some thought.
Wait, are you saying that you're so hot you don't have to be? That's what you're saying. You're like, I'm fashionable, and just to go against the authority, just because I know I'm hot, I'm gonna dress down.
No, I'm saying I dress down because I want to stick it to the man. Because the man says that in order to construct an identity, you have to buy things. You have to buy things, and then you have to wear and display those things that you buy, that you use to construct your identity in public, so that you can signal to other people that you know what you are, and you want them to behave as though that's true, or that you're just like, hey, I want to be treated in this, not treated, but I want to be perceived in this kind of way. And there's this whole like subconscious language and symbolism that happens because you're just like, I am the things I consume, in a sense that like everything that I want for has this inherent, like, I'm trying to construct this identity out of it. And sometimes that's a genuine want, where I think it aligns with the identity and with the things that I want. And other times it's I'm putting the identity first and then the wants after it. And so then it kind of gets tricky where you're like, I want to be perceived as this kind of person, but I think like what my body wants.
It's interesting because I absolutely get that. As a person, as we're going to find out over the course of this episode, who's had a very interesting relationship with fashion, the way they want to be perceived, and the way that they just exist in the world, which is, I've always viewed clothes as a purely kind of so it's complicated. The way I treat clothes is utilitarian. I have clothes that I literally have in my closet that I stopped wearing this year that are like 15 years old. I wear things until they're done. I always have, and I always will.
At what point is done?
I had this pair of pants that I got from like Conway that were like made of this like very thin material, and I wore them until they tore, and I continued wearing them. I didn't used to wear underwear until I so I was at a concert and they tore right down the middle, and that was a little awkward, but nobody saw anything. I will wear them. My like Woodstock shirt that's from like the '80s that I got from my ex, like because this cheap cotton will like start forming holes, and it has like a hole in it, and it's like it sucks because I wore that for like 15 years, and that's like I'll wear the clothing until they fall apart. When it came to shoes, it's like I buy this. I literally go to Amazon. I go to my history. I type in shoes, and whatever pair of Skechers I usually get, I buy again. Now I did realize that was not good for my feet, so I started trying different shoes. That's why I have some Crocs because I found the Crocs were very comfortable in the home.
Yeah.
That's why I have. I did end up buying, but that was for my. That was the utility of the shoe because you spend time in your clothes. And I was working outside.
Crocs are nearly entirely utilitarian.
100%. People act like they're stylish. They do that because they're ugly. So they make them cool by letting you put stuff on them and giving them cool designs, which is what you're supposed to do.
They're stylish in a way that has since, like, when Crocs first hit the scene, they weren't stylish. And then they were so unstylish, they became an icon of unstylishness. And so then they were co-opted as a symbol of ironic stylishness.
I'm wearing them right now. They're comfortable.
And so there's this whole like meta language that is happening in the things that we wear, like Crocs, where it's like they're so uncool, or like they look so clunky, or they look just so like, honestly, like just they look like something that someone from Revenge of the Nerds would wear.
But now common people wear them.
And common people also want to dress like the characters in Revenge of the Nerds. Like there's this kind of like,
I don't know, Revenge of the Nerds, I think that's the one I'd stay away from.
it does, yeah. But like, okay, meatballs. Because, all right, last summer, there are 3 things that made me want to do this fashion episode, and I'm going to list those off real quick. The first one is I was shoe shopping recently.
Oh boy.
And my girlfriend was like, you should get this stylish pair of New Balances. And I'm like, New Balances make me look like a barbecue dad. And she's like, not if they don't look like barbecue dad shoes. And I'm like, but it's New Balance.
New Balance.
And she's like, that's dumb. They're New Balances, so they're comfortable and reputable. They're in stylish colors. It's in like a suede and like a forest green and a mustard yellow with like beige on the. And I'm like, those are all colors that I love in my color palette. Like those aren't like far and away swings for like stuff
like,
that I can.
Okay.
Yeah,
I could see myself in
but
these.
it's just because it had the big old New Balance N on it, and I'm like, I'm gonna feel like I should be at like my nephew's soccer tournament or something.
Sounds like a you problem.
And it is a me problem, but I'm not the only one who thinks that New Balances mean that you're kind of admitting you're kind of submitting to this social impression of New Balances.
Since we spoke about this and I saved this because I knew you were going to mention it, and I wanted to say it then. It's because you're not from the city. And I think in a very strange, weird way, your girlfriend has kind of really grown into the city, right? And in the city, people dress really. People always like, oh, New York fashion. The reason why New York is so iconic is because New York has a very utilitarian kind of way about going about things. And so what ends up being fashionable is you see famous people wearing suits with New Balances, which is a thing. In Crocs, because they gotta go to the Met, but they're getting caught by the paparazzi running down Fifth Avenue to leave
they
their
want
house.
something comfortable, and they don't know if it's gonna be wet outside or if it's gonna be humid or if it's gonna be dry.
Yeah, fashion here in New York specifically, I think has a utility because we're in the Northeast, we get interesting weather. It's not the coldest, but it gets really cold.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's not the hottest.
Coming from both a beach town and a desert, fucking hate it. Okay, in the West Coast, when a day says this is gonna be the weather, you're like, okay, that's the weather
Hold on, you know what?
for the week.
And this is not a joke. That informs the way you dress because absolutely, I'm not joking. 3 weeks ago, it said 41 degrees. And I was like, okay, I got to put on a pair of socks. I got to wear my sneakers. 2 days ago, it was 41 degrees. And I went out in Crocs and a t-shirt and a hoodie to go 2 blocks. And that was a little cool because the weather transition
I fucking
that
hate it.
it'll be like
I
it'll be like
fucking hate
41 degrees and the wind chill makes it feel like it's 30, or it's 41 degrees and the air is still, the sun is shining and it's humid because it ended up raining today for a little bit,
Yep.
which is why it was like 70, but it rained for such a short period of time that it's like humid and hot. And so even when it's like 41 degrees, you're outside and you're like, okay, I got to take my coat off.
Or like-
I'm sweating.
Or like yesterday, it was bright and sunshiny out, and the entire first half of the day. By the second half, windy as shits.
Yo, it was freezing yesterday morning.
It got
Then it was windy, and then today you're drenched in sweat. And so that I'm not gonna lie, that's informed my personal when it comes, because here's the thing. When you say fashion, people are like, oh, you're talking about clothes. You're talking about clothing.
Yeah.
No.
What? What are we talking about?
Clothing and fashion are separate because clothing is just the object, the thing you wear. Fashion is how you wear it and when you wear it and how you wear it. But the problem is that fashion is often defined by these slender institutes, right?
Wait,
Where it's like,
can you just say the other part again? I need to resonate on. Clothing is what you wear. Fashion is
how you wear it.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I
it's true.
derailed,
No,
but, okay,
no, but
continue. I just
so-
really wanted to sit with that for a
But
second.
the thing is that fashion is often defined by these like slim institutes, by these institutions. But since fashion is not what they say it is, it's how people wear clothing. That's why you end up with regional differences in people. Fashion is people in Oakland wearing this kind of shirt with these kind of shoes. That's fashion, and a lot
That's
of
fashion, baby.
because here's the thing is I'm not a fashionista, all right, but I think because my mother's always been really interested in fashion, she's always had an eye in fashion, and I've been fortunate enough to be socially related to people who are in fashion industry, who went to FIT, graduated summa cum laude, and are like part of like Yves Saint Laurent, things like that. My grandfather was a very fashionable individual. I was always surrounded by fashion. But as I became more educated about social ills, social struggles, I realized that the connection is like clothing is the fabric, right? But fashion is the way we wear clothes. But because we wear clothes the way we do, companies, these industries are formed in order to coerce us into purchasing more clothing. Because everybody always goes, be like how people looked in the 90s and the 80s. People in the 90s and the 80s bought the clothing, put it in their closet. They used to put it away. They would swap out the bins.
That's
they'd
why
hang out the
there's
clothes.
different seasons of like.
There were seasons. Now, the companies, these industries are trying to coerce you into purchasing as many goods as possible. Okay, and there's this TikToker, I really wish that I had their name just on hand because I watched them do like TikTok shop reviews, and the big thing was when they did it, it's like nobody does TikTok shop reviews, they say, where they're actually showing you the product, and they talk about fashion a lot, and they were getting clothes, and they show you, and it's true, if you bought clothes from Pretty Girl or from Shein or Temu or wherever you buy clothes from for $5, it doesn't fit you. It falls apart, right? And it's never exactly what you want. Now, what I'm wearing today is I'm wearing Teddy Fresh. I don't care what people would say about Ethan and Ela Klein. When it comes to their clothing, what they've done is they do design and they do some construction in the U.S., but mostly it's done in China. But because China is the best at fabricating and doing the clothes, they work with a really good company where they've sourced it. They use as much recycled material as possible, and they effectively try to eliminate waste and pay the people they work with well, which is why I have this clothing. When I purchased this, it took me a long time to consider it because it was something that I would never purchase in my life. But I realized from purchasing something else from them that is very high quality. And the utility of having a high quality garment supersedes the fashion. And so when I purchase things, I consider, is it fashionable? Do I like it? But also, can I wear it?
And what's the longevity of it?
You got to wear it for a long time. And that's the problem as a vegan. It's because a lot of the pleather and stuff like that, that stuff has a way shorter shelf life than leather. There is high quality, what they call vegan leather that's made of bamboo. You know, and that stuff is great, but it's expensive, right? And it is sustainable, but it's expensive. And people have that crunch of that dollar. You know what I mean?
It just takes a lot of processing.
It takes a lot of processing. And it's not even, you know, it's not destroying the world to process it, but it just costs more to harvest, to process, and to turn into clothing. And so leather, especially reused leather, is supremely sustainable. And the thing that I think is super important is I was in a live today with Claudia Alec of callingupjustice.com. And she always does meditations in the morning. And they just so happened to be talking about like fashion. And the way that they talk about the way that we get and receive goods. And you listen and you realize that like these companies, they're just trying to get us to spend our money. And they're not giving us anything of value back. You need clothing to be warm and comfortable. They try to sell you the thinnest, the shortest, the with the most cuts.
You need clothing so that you can exist legally outside in our government system. Okay.
Oh my God.
I just want to bring it back to
No, okay, don't even. I'm a naked guy, but that's societal, and that didn't come out of nowhere. The government does it because people want that. It's weird. I know we should just be naked, but okay, I don't want it. Okay, leave me alone.
And also, I would be kind of cold. I would be a little chilly if I just didn't have clothes. Usually. So, okay, I'll give you that. But there is a utility of like you do need clothes to exist. And in order to be kind of perceived as a civilized citizen, those clothes also have to meet certain kind of unwritten standards. Like they can't be overly soiled. But you get it's kind of interesting how like you get leeway of just like at a certain point, people would feel better about you not having those clothes on than the clothes that you are wearing.
You just broke me. Because I never thought of it. It's very true. Like you see like a small stain on somebody's shirt, you might think, even if you're not a jerk, like you might think to yourself like, oh, they have a stain on their shirt. They should wash their shirt.
Yeah.
But really, like innocuous stain, it's like Misfits Market. They're like, people don't want these strawberries because they're shaped weird. People throw away good clothing because it faded a little bit in the wash.
Yeah. Or it gets relegated to like, oh, well, these are just my washing the car clothes. And you're like, that's a t-shirt that's been with me for 20 years. That t-shirt has seen things. If that t-shirt were in like a Pixar animated movie, I would have an unconventional amount of sentimentality about how that t-shirt ends up. Like just how their story goes. Like I think both of you or both you and I are wearing t-shirts right now that we got for free that have some sort of like this was a point in time. This marked this was a benchmark in my life. Yours is that's an Espelon t-shirt.
That's why I thought it was appropriate to wear this shirt with this outfit.
And it's if I'm not correct me, but that's from the Gov Ball that you and I went to, and we got to see Lil Nas X and Kendrick Lamar live.
I could have sworn that no,
because
I got this, and I think you got one too from the liquor store we used to work at.
No, you got that one after I left.
Oh,
Because that's why you were at the liquor. I got a Patron.
I remember
got the
that one.
Patron
Yeah.
And then I'm wearing underneath my Old Navy is a Jimmy Kimmel comedy club that my uncle got for me the opening night of it, because he helped do the PR or whatever for the opening night, and he was like, I got you a t-shirt, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna come live with you for a year.
That's like the best part of fashion. I would wear this with this expensive.
Yeah, I mean, though, it's the acid wash denim, and then the stencils on it. I really like. I think the color. I don't know if I would get the same, because I feel like the color of the acid wash would just kind of blend in with my complexion a little too much, and like I would just kind of end up looking. That's also a lot of my fashion choices and influences come from watching What Not to Wear with my mom on the TLC channel as a kid. That was with I forget the host, but they're about to reboot it. And like I kind of developed an early sense of like exactly what not to wear. And so I feel like whenever it comes to me trying to decide a fashion or a stylistic choice of how to wear my clothes, it ends up kind of reversing back to like, well, don't do this or don't do that. And I feel inhibited because the people in my life are so uninhibited when it comes to making
It's because your
stylistic.
girlfriend wants you to wear a crop top.
She does. Yeah.
I knew, because you're like, there was three things. I knew that was one of them.
Actually, the third thing, because that was the second thing. You hit the nail on the coffin with that one. But the third thing was, I feel like we've both, because we do the live streaming for TikTok
Yeah.
for wrestling events. We've both been very critical lately of Mercedes Monet's.
Her wigs.
You've been critical of her wigs. I would never say anything critical of anyone's wigs, period. But I did think that some of the like stitching and shaping of some of her previous
Some of her wigs are bad too. I'm not like she's ugly. She's a beautiful woman. Her wigs just aren't great.
and I feel like we can't just go lambasting people about their fashion choices.
Why not? Okay, that's the fashionista in me.
That's the fashion.
That's the fashionista in me.
Well, that's just that's the industry, babe. But like I feel like, given my kind of adjacent like the loosest instructions in fashion would be like, make sure the seams taper this way, or like all that kind of stuff was just like, girl, you have a whole creative department on your team. Like you have people making tailored stuff for you. Why does it look like there's like a chunky belt with a knot where like cloth is supposed to overlay over cloth, and so it's supposed to have this like shingled look, but it wasn't shingled, it was just flappy. This is not good, right? Like that's from what is the point of watching TLC shows?
I'm sorry, I
And
can't.
Netflix is next in fashion, if not to be able to just have some sort of like reputable criticism.
I think that it's true that she's a very talented and beautiful woman individual, but she has money and she shouldn't be showing up in outfits that aren't nice.
Her name is Monet.
She's all about the Monet. That was for you, Ray. Oh my God, fashion.
Well, so you talked about like when it comes to your priorities with how you design your style or how your style has come, you definitely take a more utilitarian approach at first, But then what are your kind of criteria of like the things that you are gravitated to? I'll start with like color palettes. Like do
Mm.
you know your
I, I,
palette?
I do, but like I think that it's hard because my fashion, the way that I approach fashion, is very utilitarian because I grew up poor. I had no money, right? So I had
Fair.
no money, and having no money, you wear what you have to wear. And so growing up, I would wear things that were the colors of the things I wanted to wear:
Okay.
black, purple, red. I do look good in pink. I'm like, whatever. I got that little bit. I have a little bit of a yellow undertone, but it's like slight. So
Well, that Teddy Fresh sweatshirt that you got, that's like the teal and pink and yellow.
oh yeah, the color block. Yeah,
That one,
the traditional color block.
that one pops on you.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I think also the brown tan one, the Looney Tunes one.
Oh,
I think that one also looks pretty good on me. Yeah, I just when approaching fashion, I've always kind of gone color first
Mhm.
because I think that like if you have an idea of the kind of color palette that you're going for, you could always hit that first.
Yeah, that's the easier benchmark to accommodate. How do
How
you?
about you? Oh,
Oh,
I was about
oh.
to ask about you, but
Uh,
I'll take it.
how do you feel about like when clothes have an emblem or something on it?
I generally, I do know that like I'm wearing Teddy Fresh. I do have that Teddy Fresh Venom hoodie that I like a lot, and it says Teddy Fresh on it. It was designed well, so the Teddy Fresh kind of stands out as like a cool aspect of the hoodie. But generally, I don't want no logos, no polo, no nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of I'm not here for the company. The company made the clothing item for me. So as little advertising of them on me
They're not paying
works.
me.
However, of course, like I just said, if I think the product is good and I like the art,
Then you can
maybe
be like a thanks.
that's
Got
what
it
happened.
on sale.
That's what happened with the wrestling shirts. I never used to purchase them because I didn't have any money, and I always used to feel some sort of society, some social pressure. The people that I knew who wore wrestling T-shirts got bullied and treated. I got bullied a lot, but I didn't get bullied for the reasons they got bullied. So it's like I'm getting bullied just in general. Plus, I want to wear like a target on my back. It just made
Mm.
me not really interested in like doing it. So when I got older, it's like, oh, I can. So I did. You know what I'm saying? And technically, that's an advertisement. You know?
I do think it's interesting the I guess dichotomy of like you as a consumer thinking that what I consume, like being cognizant of what I consume will then be reflected and displayed to society or
That's
to,
because I grew up goth.
well, yeah.
I grew up one. I don't know. I just grew up. I guess not even that weird, but in the '90s and the early, if you're weird, that's people. You'd like to wear black. You know. So then, what would I? Then you end up getting drawn kind of into like the subcultures. And I did like the music. I liked hard rock. I still like hard rock, metal, all that stuff. But those cultures, they're heavily tied into the music, and the style of the people who listen to the music reflects the people in the band who play the music. And so to look like you are part of the scene, you have to
Mm.
dress a certain kind of way. And you want to. Some of it looks cool,
Well,
by the
so
way.
that's kind of what I wanted to get to was like there's a certain part of punk is to like wear what you got because that's what you have and you have stuff that's associated with the scene because that's where you are. Like that's kind of the like that's the cycle of like you don't care what you wear, but you have things that you wear because you care about the scene and those things that you wear reflect that you care about this or that's
Mhm.
just kind of your passive like identity. But there's like high fashion. You're not you're not kind of treating yourself so much as like a an endorsement of the thing. You're using the thing to endorse you.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I think that's where kind of things get kind of sticky with the elitist structures within the fashion industry. I mean, it's capitalism, baby. So like it's going to happen. But like in these more kind of niche scenes where like things that you identify with kind of organically become referenced in the way you wear things, then it seems more genuine than when you take something and you're trying to use the thing that you're wearing as an endorsement of yourself to be like, well, I have this like really expensive da 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 da, and therefore I must be an expensive person.
It's very interesting because what you wear can reflect on if you are an expensive person. It can also reflect your values.
Oh.
Right? It's so interesting because your clothing is you.
Mm.
And people spend a lot of money on clothes. And it's
Yeah.
so funny because I have a piece of high fashion here. Okay. So, as everybody knows, that Kanye, the
West?
no, I think he should be called whatever. He should be called Kanye Nazi. He released a pair of shoes for $400, and then he changed them to being $20. This is a piece of high fashion.
High fashion.
This, which effectively looks like a sock.
That's a calf high aqua sock.
This is high fashion. The value of fashion is interesting because people spent money on this, but no one who spent money on this thought it was good. Everybody who spent money on Yeezy pods thought they're ugly. I can make some views off of this. Or they're silly. Maybe I can resell them on the internet, right? The value of what this was $20, because when Kanye changed the price, people were upset and they had to go and they had to give refunds for all the people who paid the $400+.
Why were they paying $400+ for him?
Why?
Why?
Why were they paying $400+ for what is literally effectively they come in small, medium, large. I got large. They don't fit me. They come in a FedEx bag.
Are they too small or too big?
Too small?
I wonder if they fit me.
The bag is empty. There's not even any branding on the bag. These cost hundreds of dollars.
So suppose you're someone who paid $400 for this.
Yeah.
What do you tell your marketing department?
Well, I mean, I guess somebody had to produce these, so I guess and Kanye had to spend money, and so I guess these were designed because there's like a website and stuff. But I just can't imagine a company that is not Kanye West making this sock with a glued on sole with a thin insole with no support for $400+.
But do you think
I can't. I couldn't imagine.
If they made this just a finer material and then put like
Okay, I got you.
K-Swiss.
Coming from the Enigma Kanye, simple, his new aesthetic.
Oh,
just like the Balenciaga. These are not Balenciaga, but they're Yeezy, but they're simple. You relate Balenciaga, you correlate Balenciaga with Ye, right? So that means that the simple bag, this is not low quality. If you go into Balenciaga, people know what it is. People know what Yeezy pods are. So people understand what this bag is, just as they'll understand the silhouette of our shoe. The shoe is made of a nice high quality cotton polyester mix. It's nice, it's breathable. This is obviously all style. It has just enough support, and to allow you to be comfortable, it has these molded rubber polyurethane soles. The silhouette is simple, and it reminds the people of Balenciaga. How would you style this? You can wear this if you're queer. You can do this with some stockings and and a short little skirt and a shirt that says "I'm queer and I'm here." Because we're in the room. This is how they're talking. You know.
Can the Jews wear it? Because it's, a Kanye thing?
I think that the audience who's going to purchase this is not going to care that the person who made it is a bigot.
So it's Jonah Hill. Um, I'm gonna be honest. If it were something else, and if they were like a more water resistant, I think fabric, I would wear the shit out of those. I want to be barefoot like 24/7, but I can't wear the individual Tootsie shoes because I have web toes. So like, fashion.
That's fashion.
That's fashion.
And it's interesting because and so my connection with like the goth thing, right? Like even tied into those, I wanted for content, right? Happened to get my hands on these guys here, and
For the content.
and I'm not gonna walking around outside in fucking socks. What am I gonna be doing, right? But I think it's interesting that those are slightly kind of like my aesthetic, because my aesthetic is more the color and kind of like the vibe,
Black and simplistic.
which is simple. But I do like, now that I'm older, I like the accenting colors, right? Like right now, I
Okay.
like the contrast between this tan, the acid washed jean and jacket with the black shirt with the white. It's just giving contrast, It's also worn. This is like worn. I'm not trying
Vintage.
too hard. I'm not putting too much effort into what I'm wearing, right? But I think that if you still look, you can see, even though I'm wearing something that's tan, that I don't like dark colors. And I'm virtue signaling, because if you know what this is, then you're a member of the elite. The elite. There you go. See, that it's all about the way that you express and effectively virtue signal your way, which is why when I was younger, people were like, you're goth. And I used to be like, huh, everybody calls me that because I didn't
I'm
have
just virtue signaling Satan.
yeah, you just wear black. You just wear back, you wear the certain, a big shirt, a big t-shirt, but it's black. And you kind of just wear whatever sneakers and you wear jeans, then people would know that you didn't care about your appearance, and that means you're counterculture.
You do eyeliner.
No, but when I tried lipstick, but I never like, oh God, I hated it. It felt so cakey. Nail polish is totally my thing. I just don't do it because I either got beaten up and called slurs so hard that I have trauma, or the effort of maintaining them is difficult. I think it's a little bit of column A, a little column B. What about you, Chandler?
Well, so to go back to the beginning, I think my color palette is a soft tropical summer spring,
Love that.
or a like a desert fall or a desert sunset. So like
Does it sunrise?
no,
I'm bathing in your radiance.
not a sunrise.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
are we referencing?
No, I'm not referencing. I mean, I'm referencing. It's because you are you. It's just you're beautiful. It just works for you. I feel like the sunrise color's better for you.
Oh. Well, so here's in my head, my traditional color palette is
Okay.
I like light blues, dark greens, mustard yellows, and then either a brick kind of orange or a burgundy or like a deep red. Like those. You're looking at me right now.
I don't know. I don't know.
But I'm finding that in the spring summer range, I do really well in teals, and then like a soft off white, and then
I know the clothes you're talking about.
well, I'm wearing so all I'm wearing right now is Old Navy, except the hat. I've had this hat forever.
Yeah.
Not only have I had this hat forever, I had a version of this hat throughout high school that then got chewed up by a dog, one of my dogs. He was a puppy. He was going through some stuff. He chewed up the hat. I found the hat again years later. Gorin Bros. They're everywhere now. It's crazy. You can't throw a rock in any direction without hitting someone in the head wearing a Gorin Bros hat. It's just like it's the thing. It's just a trucker hat, and then it's got like the little emblem here. So I'm gonna tell you, back in 2012, I was riding through a college road trip, going through Solvang, California. That's a little like Dutch settlement area. Oh, it's super cute houses. There used to be a Pea Soup Anderson's, but it just went out of business recently. It was like a major staple on the 101
Ooh.
highway. Solvang, and go into this hat shop. They got a bunch of different hats. They got cowboy hats. They have fedoras. And I go, you know what? I'm about to figure out what my college identity is with this hat right now. And I found this trucker hat with a bear on it. And I said, you know what? That's going to be me. And I have been wearing this hat for the past at least decade. And I got to be
Whole
honest.
time I knew you.
You've known me for 5 years, and this hat has known me for thrice that long.
That's crazy.
Right? So I feel like my style has been ever evolving, but my clothing, like my radiance of fashion, my fashion has been evolving. My style has been consistent, and I like these little trucker hats. I used to also have that like orange red beanie,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
and those were like my favorite hats. And I have a great head of hair, but I love a hat moment just because it kind of keeps all of this Michigas kept tight. And I think that goes back to my playing sports days where like I liked having long hair. And I liked the sports players that I liked who also had long hair.
And they keep it like poking out the
They
helmet.
keep it just kind of, and it would do this thing where it's like it's big hair, but like my style is also loosely informed by the cast of Holes, the Disney movie.
Yes, I know.
I don't know if you've ever picked up on that. Just kind of like that's like Zigzag and Caveman. They both had like the kind of poofy hair that came out from.
We're digging holes.
Digging up holes.
Digging up them holes.
Digging up holes. Oh. Loved that movie. So like a little bit of that, little bit of just utility, little bit of Jack Black from School of Rock, or like just kind of I liked hair bands. I liked like 70s hair bands, and I was like that fucking rocks. And so I kind of want to emulate that, but also the clothes I had access to, I was a bit more affluent, so we went to Old Navy and like Kohl's and Costco. We got a lot of Kirkland signature flannels once I discovered the grunge era, and those have just kind of been a staple ever since. I love a flannel. I love a linear pattern, and so what I want to do is try to branch out of that.
He's like I wanna do a flannel with a non-linear pattern. Hexagonal.
Well, so this actually brings me to the final thing that why I wanted to talk about fashion with you is because last year I feel like I had a definitive like vision for how I wanted to try to restyle myself, and this year, new year, new me, trying to figure out what that new vision is, and I thought maybe we could come to it together. So, for context, last year I had said that I wanted to bring the fashion vibe, the stylistic vibe, that I was the like roadie drug dealer for the Muppet band Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. That was the vibe I wanted to bring. Like I was what's the guy from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
What the hell? I can't even.
Yeah, like the guy, Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
No, yeah, I know Dr. Teeth, obviously. Mana, mana. Okay, yeah, yes, I know Dr. Teeth. Come on.
So like that vibe of just like we're Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, man. We're gonna play some songs for you, and I'd be like, yeah, you guys want to do some poppers after the show? I got it set up.
You want to look like a dude, like a burnout at a Grateful Dead show.
Yeah, but also a Muppet.
But also a Muppet.
And I feel like I want to kind
Hey,
of.
what's going on here? Oh, you want some? Got some of the good stuff.
No, wait, I wouldn't be doing uppers that much.
Oh, sorry, I was doing the uppers character.
You're-
So yours would be
you're
like,
good. I'd be like,
hey guys,
hey,
whoa.
welcome to the green room. You know why they call it the green room, right? It's because of all the green I got in this briefcase. Why does my Muppet
What is the
character
guy doing
sound
here?
like Alan
Okay.
Alda?
Okay, my character is at odds with yours. What is this guy doing here? What?
Hey man, you just gotta chill out. See,
Chill.
it seems like you had a lot of the snuff. Just snuffleupagus over here.
I don't know what
Maybe-
you're doing. the powder's like flying in the air.
Listen, buddy, I got some primo Oscar the Grouch over here, and maybe we might be able to find some common ground.
Why do you sound like fucking Owen Wilson?
That's it. That's the Muppet character that I. So that was last year. That was a different era.
Okay, what's this era? What are we doing here?
The era I want to look like now.
Oh, you're about to enter your 30s. You're trying to hold on tightly to your 20s.
Yeah,
That'd be
So
nice.
I want to look like an 80s movie camp counselor who. Well, okay, I want to look like Paul Rudd.
Shorts
and-
too short.
Shorts too short.
Shirt, yellow and white pinstripes tucked in. You gotta change. You might have to cut your hair.
No, but I'd be the.
Oh, you're the washout camp.
I'm the washout one who's like really good at lake activities.
Blue jeans. Oh, so
Like jean cutoffs. Jean cutoffs. And then like
if it's appropriately 70s to 80s, you dress. You know, you could do the big hair, whatever. What's the fucking name? Eddie from the Stranger Things.
yeah.
But when you go into the lake, then you're wearing a tucked in shirt and really short shorts.
And it's a tight tee.
It is a tight tee.
Or so like
I can see
think-
that.
I think
Your hair's not long enough.
I'm not I need to grow it a little longer and then go mullet. And then I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to get a mustache. Or at least do like something
You got to get a mullet.
I gotta do a mullet, and then I think I gotta do something riff-raffy with the sideburns, like a.
Don't shave it all. I would say start with the design.
I'd-
Then, after you do the design, make sure you keep it kind of like above the jaw, so that after the design kind of wears short, you can do a sharp cut and have yourself like a
Ooh.
real, like really intense, like a
Well,
guy.
that's so that way I can have a turtleneck winter, like a turtleneck and like chain, kind of just like. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, kind of winter.
God. Hey man, you know what I really need? I just need a new fashion style, man. You know I got some of that good stuff. I got some of that Big Bird. I got some of that Rosalita. You know, that's a new strain, but it's pretty good.
I got some of that Mr. Hand.
God. I could see you as actually it makes a lot of sense. I could see that. Okay, so you're gonna be I see it right now. So you're gonna jean, all right? Oh, you're gonna be warm. But you know what? Oh my god. I feel like you should wear a crop top. Because what I think you should do is like a jean jacket, right?
Yeah.
Or like blue jean.
I want to get a painted jean
Gambit.
jacket. Ooh, yep. Do you have any mesh? Like, have you ever fucked with mesh?
I've never fucked with mesh.
I only ever fucked with mesh when I played high school football that one year, and they just gave us like practice mesh tops, and I was like, this hurts. This hurts my like. I kept on getting snagged.
How tight was it?
It wasn't. That's the problem.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was just a slight chill. It was a slight chill, and I kept
Oh
getting
my God.
snagged.
I will go out in a mesh top if you're going outside. We go somewhere in a mesh top together. I'll do that shit. I'll just do it.
I went somewhere in like a cut off vest. Like it was like initially it was the type of shirt that you would go line dancing with, and then the sleeves were cut off, and so it was just like embroidered like purple and bronze little little zigzags going down, and then snaps, and then like vest, and then like tight tee underneath with like tight pants and boots. That's the other thing. I feel like guys don't have that many options when it comes to shoe designs.
Okay, when it comes to shoe designs, no. Because when it comes to clothes, now we've gotten into like
We've gotten I'm so glad that we finally become liberated. What okay, if there's one article of clothing that you would like you want to wear but you kind of you were like the voices in the back of your head are just a little too loud for it and you're like, I'm not there yet. I want to be that liberated, that free, that like I don't care, but like you're still kind of trapped in that intrinsic toxicity that's like you can't wear what you want because gender norms or whatever. It doesn't have to be the gender norms one. I'm just kind of relating
no. Because
specifically.
wearing clothes every day, here's the thing, is I wouldn't wear anything. Everything kind of gets me because I've been conditioned and traumatized. But I also, in my own experience, am also the kind of person who, yeah, I'll do it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's like the thing. It's like if I'm like if you said tomorrow you're gonna wake up, put on a mesh shirt and a mini skirt and go outside in high heels, I'm like I'm not doing that. But like I don't know if somebody was like, huh, you wanna let's do this, I'd be like I don't really want to, but you know what? Fuck it. You know I try not to let that stuff hold me behind, but I don't know. I do get anxious when presented with I don't know like I don't want to wear a mini skirt. I don't think I'd look good in a mini skirt, you know, but like I don't think I'm like opposed to it because of misogyny, but I think that, you know, I don't always paint my nails. I think when I paint my nails, it feels effeminate, even though it's just color on your nails.
It is wild how that's like how that's a choice.
I literally, and I like to do it, but I don't know if I, you know what I'd wear? You know what I would fucking wear? I'd wear like nails,
Oh, like acrylics?
get like some fucking cloths or some shit. You know, in like
That'd
a
be
cool
hot.
way, not like in a fucking like I'm a dude, I'm gonna get fucking nails and call. No, I mean like some women have like these really like aggressive,
Like
these sharp talons. Those are cool, or they're like kind of like fucking short and pretty fucking sharp. That'd be cool as shit. And I definitely wouldn't do that because I feel so like I definitely would feel judged if I went to the store. I'd probably, and I know I'm wrong, but I'd probably like pay for my food by tapping my phone like this.
And just do the quick tap. Yeah.
What about you, Chandler?
I would really like to be able to wear like I guess like a wrap or like a
Like a wrap skirt?
like a wrap skirt.
Like that episode of The Boondocks where Riley was wearing those shorts made by King's Delicious that were kind of a skirt.
Yeah. But I would want something a little bit like just above the knee and then would have like kind of a thick belt.
A
Air-
kilt.
Well, a kilt, yeah, essentially, but I'd want it like of softer fabric,
Oh,
like a
it's a cute skirt.
like yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And then like
Baby blue.
oh, I would
Or that green.
I really like this forest green. I'd kind of want it to be like in a Carhartt.
Pleated or not pleated?
Oh, like a pleated Carhartt.
No.
Kilt.
I like that.
That's
That's actually really cool.
So I would do like an acid wash denim.
That's really cool actually. Oh my god, I could see that while wearing some like boxer briefs.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
because then you get
tight
like
bike shorts or something.
I like the boxer because you can get like big, you know, whatever. I'm not get some fresh air. What's the benefit of wearing the skirt is that you get the fresh air.
But I would want something just slightly high waisted and then like a kind of shawl cover.
Ooh, I could see that.
Like I like being airy and free and
Oh, that's why you.
Yeah.
That's why you don't like crop top. It's gonna feel weird because you're like your midriff is out, but you're still wearing like a tight shirt.
yeah.
You'd probably prefer just to be shirtless.
I'd be yeah. Or like a loose like I kind of want to get like one of those like it's a hoodie crop top. It's a cut off hoodie crop
I know
top.
exactly
So
what
it's
you're
like the short sleeves and then like
Oh my god!
I kind of want to get one of those.
You know what? I'd rock that.
That'd be hot.
I would rock that so hard. Wow. Just like you should rock that like button.
You should rock that like button. If you want to see us wear this, hey, like, follow, subscribe, so that way we can eventually afford to make the clothes and wear the clothes that we want to make someday, and we don't have to worry about like how we're perceived.
Slut me out.
But oh god, I can't wait. I can't wait. How much time do we have left?
I mean, we're done.
We're done. Okay. What's your last thing? What's your favorite statement shirt that you have in your closet right now?
Depends what the statement is. But I think that generally, if I'm trying to make a statement, right? Like I'm trying to make a statement. Man, I really like that AEW tie-dye shirt. I don't know, that yellow and kind of dark blue
That
type
was a
thing
cool
going on. But I think I have from, oh God, from Teddy Fresh, I have the Elon Musk is a piece of shit and the Mark Zuckerberg is a piece of shit shirts.
Oh, those are
And
both
they're
good.
simple, but they have like a little hand-drawn thing on them. And I think they're a little funny. And I think that they make a simple statement. Nothing like super crazy, but I'm trying to like be kind of like out there. I don't know. I feel like I used to have some more interesting shirts, and now I don't know. I like those shirts a lot. I do have that Teddy Fresh bowling basketball bear shirt, which is
Hmm.
interesting.
Oh, I know what you're talking
My
about.
D Antwoord, which I just don't support them anymore. But I had like a nice little light fabric kind of polyester shirt from them that was like full print on it, and it had like the album art that I used to really enjoy. And then finally, the one that I thought made like a true statement. But it's like very minor because it was fitting into my like wearing a black t-shirt style. But I had I still have it. I told you it's falling apart. A Woodstock shirt that's from like the late '80s. That's like absolutely just starting to fucking disintegrate. But I feel like before that, you would see it and people would look at it and they'd like, I don't know.
It's the echoes and remnants
It's a
of
cool
a shirt,
It's
but
just a
it's still
fucking.
hanging in.
It is a cool fucking shirt, man.
That's dope. I got a T-shirt that just says "Hollywoo." Is the BoJack reference?
Wow.
That one was also a gift.
Might as well just get a shirt that says Rick and Morty reference. God.
Exactly. It's subtle. It's tasteful. And then the other one is it's like one of those kind of like PE kind of shirts that's like established, but it's airbenders. It's like a for the airbending temple, and it's a fun one. I like that one.
You know what? It sounds like we need to come up with our own clothing. If you want to see some merch from us, let us know in the comment section below. Man, Chandler, we had listen. Here's the thing. We've been talking a lot. We're gonna be doing some interesting things going forward. But I feel like fashion. We're gonna have to do like a fashion show.
Fashion.
Do some merch.
Looking for a thrashing.
I think that I look nice. I think that
I think you look.
I like that hoodie on you a lot. Actually,
Oh, thanks.
this was a bold choice.
It was a bold choice, but I think it paid off for
Yeah,
it.
it's interesting because I felt like wearing something with cartoon on it would like I don't know. I felt like
Are we
childish
gonna
to
get
me.
taken down? Is this gonna be like a likeness issue?
Oh my god, maybe
Are you gonna have to blur each of the the things?
I might. Man, it's been good. You can find us everywhere in the show notes. My name is James Beery.
And I've been Chandler Phillips. Drinking is not always required.
But it is recommended. You know, I feel like I dressed up for nothing. It's just us. It's just you and me. And that monkey.